Hello, hello. Welcome to Sultan Games. My name is Faraz. And today I'll be going through a process, or I'll be trying to learn how to actually develop a mod for Minecraft. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing Minecraft over the years, and I've always said to myself, you know what? I should spend some time. I should actually develop a mod, something that'll be interesting, something just to see a different side of the actual game. And I've always wanted to do it, but I just never got around to doing it. So now I actually want to try it out. So the rules that I want to set myself out for this challenge is that I'm purely going to be looking at, or I'm going to be using Minecraft Forge, and I'm purely going to be looking at the official documentation. That is my restrictions. I'm not going to be looking at any kind of YouTube tutorials or any kind of Googling. I'm just going to be following the actual guide that's on the documentation, and I want to see if I can actually build a simple mod. I think I want to start out with just some basic items, some basic custom items, custom blocks, and then we'll go from there. Cool. So I've already got an IntelliJ instance in project at the moment, and yeah, let's actually just begin. Let's hop into it. So I haven't really read any of this documentation before. This is kind of really the first time going into it. I know Minecraft is on 1.16.1 at the moment. The guide's only go up to 1.15. But let's see how it goes. Let's go to Minecraft Forge itself. What do they give us here? Okay, so this is like the forums, that's fine. How do I download the actual library? Let's go files. Or maybe if I can go to the get started guide. Cool, it's already, yeah, bump 0 to modding. Okay, just before that, let's go home, let's go style. What do they give me in the style guide? Guide for contributing. Okay, I don't want to do that. Formatting, don't want to do that. So let's go into this get started. Simple guide to get you from nothing to basic mod. Exactly what I want. Obtain a source distribution from the file site. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was actually there. You can see this is 1.16, so let me go to that. Let's go 1.16, and this website said I need to look for the MDK file type. It should be this one. Oh, please wait 5 seconds. Let's just wait for that. Skip. Cool, I've got the file. What do I do with it? Extract the download file into directory. You should see a bunch of files. Example mod. Cool, that sounds fine to me. So I'm gonna do that. Let's go to my download files. Cool. And I need to extract this. Minecraft, boom. Can I just extract all of that there? Awesome. Okay, now because my IntelliJ is pointing to that, if I reload it from disk, boom, got all my files. Awesome, exactly what I want. I actually want to put this under a different folder. I'm gonna call this my first mod, and let's put all these files underneath that. Cool, let's refresh this again. Off the disk. That seems fine. I'm gonna add a new module. Go okay. Import my first mod. It's going to be a Gradle file from my Gradle project. and doesn't seem to be picking up. That's not picking up. Want me to actually import. I mean, this should be it. It's the module that I want. Oh, that's what I want. I need an SDK. Choose Java 8. It's fine. Okay, it's picked up the Gradle. Added main, that's perfect. Give me some resources. I'm going to leave that as is. Dependencies, that all looks fine to me. It's apply. Gradle wrapper exists. Let's remove the duplicate. And I think this is working. Seems like this is just downloading. Okay. So while that's happening, let me check the rest of this extract. See a bunch of files. Only a few of these files are strictly necessary for mod development. When you reuse these files for the projects, these files are etc. etc. Move the files. The new folder, display mod project folder. Choose your IDE. Okay, cool. Most of all changes to the profile. Generate IDE launcher configurations for Eclipse for IntelliJ. Run gen. Okay, this will generate the run configurations and download any required assets. So I know I need to do that next. Welcome back. So it's still actually downloading this mappings. I'm not too sure what this is. It seems to kind of be stuck in this. But I'm gonna let it go for the moment. Going back to the guide, the next thing that they say we should be doing is running this Gradle IntelliJ runs from the command line. So I'm gonna go back to IntelliJ. I'm in the terminal view and I'm in the folder for my first mod, and I'm gonna, oops, not that one. I'm gonna run that command. Let's go Gradle W, and that was gen IntelliJ runs. Oops, sorry. Okay, what's it actually doing? Welcome to Gradle. Wait. Okay, it's downloading more things. Interesting. So these are additional assets. Okay, so this will generate run configurations and download the required assets for the game to run. After this is finished, edit your configurations to fix the module not specified error by changing selecting your main module. That English doesn't make sense. Cool, but I'll let that run. Okay, while that's running, edit the build Gradle file to customize how your mod is built, the file names, versions, and other things. Okay, so let's do that. Do not edit build script. Almost anything other than this line over here can be changed. Many things can be removed. There's a whole site dedicated. Simple customizations. Change the name of the file you build. Edit the value of archives base name. Okay, I'm in build Gradle. I'm searching for this. Equals mod ID. Oh, okay, cool. So it kind of wants us to define this. So I'm gonna go as is because that's my name. I'm gonna call this my first mod. Okay, and I'm gonna change this to the mod ID. And what else do I want to do? Change name, change your Maven coordinates, edit the value of the group as well. I think that's what I just did. Okay, change your version number. I'm happy with version 1. To update the run configurations, replace all occurrences of example mod to the mod ID of your mod. Okay, cool. Let's search for example mod, and we're going to do a simple replace. I'm just going to go through it to see what it all is doing. Okay, cool. That's everything. And that's done as well. Awesome. Okay, so I've edited everything in this file. To build your mod, run Gradle build. This will output a file in build lives with the archive base name, the version. This can be placed in the mods folder of a Forge enable mod setup and distributed. To test run this mod, the easiest way is to run the configurations that were generated. Otherwise, you can run Gradle W run client. Awesome. So let's do that build first. Before the do a build, what we're going to do is we're going to refresh our Gradle setup. That just does an update based on my latest changes. It's still trying to download this mapping. So what is this? Okay. I can see that it's still downloading there. Not letting me go through. Why is it complaining about the library? Get rid of it. Okay. You can see that it's downloading all the jars over here. That's perfect, that's what I want. Maximize this window. Okay, just give it some time to download these mods. Oh, well, not mods, jars. While it's waiting, what does the readme say? Lift of the trace, Eclipse, IntelliJ, select your break and have it import, run the following command. I am on Mac and I am on Linux. Cool. But I kind of want this process to finish. Cool. I'll pause the video over here and we'll get back when I'll resume back when downloading's finished. Cool, I'm back. So yeah, I'm not sure what it was. I restarted my IntelliJ and then it basically downloaded all the required jars finished. Cool, I'm gonna do a build again just to make sure that everything's up and running. After the build, it wanted us to do a run client. Okay, so that's the next thing I want to do, run client. Cool, yeah, build's still fine. Let's go run client. I do the / because I'm on Linux. I don't think you'll need to do the / if you're on Windows. Okay, let's see what happens. Hey, look at that. FML early loading process. What does it stand for? Ooh. Looks like things are happening. Ooh. It's like a dev version of Minecraft. Ooh, okay, cool. So it started. It says warning Forge beta. Awesome. Let me just switch off this music. Boom. Cool. cool. So that seems to be running the client, and I suppose once we have our mods actually going, okay, cool, there's my example mod. So that should be the default mod. Cool, I guess I understand that. There's some text around it. Cool. So let's quit that. So we know that that run client is what is going to basically start up the demo version. Open this guy up. I wonder if there is a run client that falls underneath this. It should be one. Maybe there isn't. Ah, there is. Cool, under FG. That's forward probably. But at least we have a shortcut, so we want to remember that. So there's run clients, it's under FG runs. Okay, awesome. So I've now changed the pull description. That's all perfect. I think that's everything I needed. Let's look at the next part. Structuring your mod. Look at how to organize your mods, blah blah blah. Pick a unique package name. If you own the URL associated with the project, you use it as a top level package. You may use the after the top level package, if you haven't, pin the unique name for your mod, such as example mod. In our case, this will end up as com.example. Okay, so they've given me, look at the source, they've given me this com example mod. I actually now want to create a new, a new folder structure. Let's go package. I'm gonna call this let's just call this com.files, and I want our base package to be my first mod. Cool. I'm gonna leave the example mod over there just for a point of reference, and I'll come back to that. The file defines, so there's a monster 2ml TOML. Finds metadata, viewed by users from the main screen of the game through the mods button. The single info file can describe several mods. It's formatted. Okay, cool. So is that what we were looking at earlier? Mods. Yes. This looks like some configuration. Okay. So this was that description that we saw when we clicked in the mod screen. So I'm gonna change this to say my custom long description. I want to change the authors. Say Roz, aka Sultan. Okay, thanks for this mod goes to I have no idea, for my loved ones. Cheesy. Logo file, I don't have one yet. Display URL, it says it's optional. I don't have a URL, so I'm just gonna knock that out. Update JSON URL and update the URL to query for updates for this mod. It's optional, so I'm gonna get rid of that. What the display name is, we're gonna call this my first mod. I kind of should have gone top down, I guess. Let's go back to the top. Mod loader, loader version. So we bumped every Minecraft version from Forge. Okay. Issue tracker. We don't have an issue tracker. That's why people log bugs against your mod. That's fine. The mod ID. We put our mod ID as my first mod. That's what we specified as the mod ID under. Let's look at it. Mod ID. Yeah, so that's what we put as the mod ID, my first mod. That's cool. Okay, that's the same thing. We're gonna leave this over there. Name, that's cool. We'll come back to that, come back to that. Dependencies to use to indicate dependency of the specific mod ID. Dependencies are optional. So let's change that, and let's change that. Mod ID equals forge. True version ordering side. Side dependency applied on both client to server. I'm not too sure what that means. Ordering relationship dependency before after. I'm gonna leave that as both for now. I think I may need to change that as client eventually, but let's leave that as is. Okay, so this gives some more information. Okay, so it's more text. Default Gradle version. Mod file. What is the mod? Keeping your code clean. Use sub packages. What is add mod? This is an annotation indicating to the Forge mod loader that the class is a mod entry point. The mod annotation should match a mod ID in. Okay. Keeping a code in the subpatch logout class up single classes. A common. Cool. That's fine. Class naming schemes. A common class naming scheme allows deciphering what class is. Okay. An item called powering would be an item package, etc. So that's just talking about like package structure, which is fine. We kind of will figure that out along the way. This add mod, I saw this in example mod over here. So that add mod over there, they called, that was their mod ID. So I'm actually gonna copy this file over here, and I'm gonna call this my first mod. Okay, that's my entry class. It has the annotation. I'm going to change this to my mod ID, which is my first mod. That's perfect. There seems to be a lot happening here. I don't know too much about it now. Right, I still see that there are some references to example mod, but we'll get back to that. Okay. What's next? Forge update checker. Update checker will stand for update, showing the first thing you want to do is specify update JSON URL parameter. So I think this is where oh, okay, cool. Okay, so this is just basically a way of when someone installs your mod, to tell them that there's an updated version available, and then they'll go and actually download that. So we're not too worried about that at this point, which is cool. Debug profiler. Cool, so that's just debug mode. Again, not too worried about this. Let's go on the concepts. Sides, very important concept. There's a client and server. Yes, I understand. Physical client, physical servers, logical server. Oh, a lot of information over here. From server side, specific operation. Okay, I'm not too fussed about the sides. We kind of just want like a client-side mod at this point. Don't necessarily want to do anything with the server. So let's skip past that. The resource, cool, that's just where you store like your assets and anything you need, any kind of files, basically your non-Java code. Cool. All resources should have the snake case paths and file names. Okay, cool. Good to know. It's for models, textures, localization. Cool. Resource location. Minecraft identifies resources. Add assets, namespace, context path, where context specific path fragment depends on the resource location. Cool. Ah, do you see that? A mod with ID example mod with mod ID replaces resources in assets example mod. I think that's what it look like. Okay, I think I understand that. Data packs, cool. Folder structure, you can make multiple domains. Overriding files. Okay, what's registries? Mod. Making them known to the game. Registering things important, as without registering, games will not know about these objects. Okay. So when we define our block, when we define an item, we have to register it so that the game knows about these items. Okay, mods are then specific to our naming structure. Okay, so there's like a register blocks event. How does this example mod do it? It registers the setup method, registers on queue, registers the client stuff, the server and other game events we're interested in. A bunch of methods here. Okay, it's been called by all of these guys on queue. Okay. Here's the subscriber event. To let the event pass discover methods to call on server starting. That is log, and you can use event specify events to contain class. Okay, that sounds confusing. Hello from register block. Block registry. On block registry. What else is in here? On. Okay, it's not telling me. Let me change this. Since example code to dispatch IMC to another mod. I don't. Maybe it is. Then mod ID. This mod. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave that as is. See what's on the test. Nothing's on the test. Okay. Cool. On block 2. The third is registration new way that replicates assembly dispatch later. Portrait is blocks mod ID and rock block. So this is defining a new blocks. It's registering rock against just the third registry. New block properties material.rock, and then we register blocks. Okay, let's follow that pattern. So we're gonna see that the first thing we can do is we're gonna create a rock. Okay, so there's my mod ID. Just need to find it over here. Okay, That's a new rock. Material rock. What is this? Okay. Not too sure what that is. I'm gonna call this something different than to say my rock. And it wants us to format this class. It wants us to register this. You put this over here. It's taking the blocks from that we've added the rock block to, and it's registering everything. Okay. It's taking class resources to its own resource location. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is, before I go any further, I actually want to double check that so far this, I'm going to remove this example mod because I basically copied that file, and let's remove this package. What I actually want to check is, does my mod actually register? Like, I've got no new code in here, but I actually just want to see, does it register when I run the client? I'm just building the code. Let's just double check that. Okay, so I'm just going to run the client, and I just want to see that my first mod is actually what appears, as well as the description that I put in this mods.2ml. Okay, so it's just running again. Wait until that screen actually pops up. Cool, let's go mods. Cool, so I can see that it does actually pick up my first mod, none version. That's fine. Thanks to goes all to my loved ones. Yay! Authors France, no child mods, and this is my customer log description. Well, kind of badly spelled over there, but that's fine. So at least I know that the changes so far to the actual build, XML, all of that has actually worked, and just that renaming has actually worked, so it's picked up all those files. So now I actually want to go back into trying to figure out how does this, how do registering entries actually work. It's supposed to store its own resource location. One can retrieve. Any mod can create their own registries, and any mod can register things to registries from any other mod. Let's implement iForce. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So that I imagine is if you want to put in your own custom stuff. We don't necessarily want to do, we just want to add a new block or a new item. Object holder. That also looks weird. I'm going to follow this pattern for the moment. This is talking about registering a block, a rock, and it's creating a new block of these rocks. So I kind of have that. That's in process. I just want to double check. I'm still recording, that's fine. Okay, language files are located by assets, name, locale, e.g. the English to use translation, for example, would be the file format simply JSON file. Okay, cool. So that's the multi-language. Let's actually do that. Okay, so assets namespace lang local JSON. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Let's go back over there. So that was in resources. That was assets, and it is the name of the mod ID. My first mod. It was lang, and I'm going to create a file underneath this. So this is just a new directory. It's fine, and I'm going to create a new file. Called, should be in.us.json. Cool. Underneath this, simply JSON map translation keys to values. The file must be encoded UTF-8. Okay, that's fine, and it's got all these instructions. Let's paste it in this JSON. So mine is called my first mod, and this is, I'm gonna do an item first. Let's just comment that out. I'm not gonna do any commands, and we're gonna take away that comma because this is not the last entry. It's not happy with this. Can I bring this out here? Okay, it just wants me to get rid of it. That's fine. And I'm gonna call this, what kind of item do we want to make? Let's make a, I don't know, a shuriken, or a shuriken. Let's make a coin. Okay. I'm gonna call this magic coin. Cool, that sounds fine to me. Okay, so we're gonna do magic coin. Block item field in Minecraft classes that built-in translation keys, display their names. Then block item dot replace the register name. Okay. Localization. Okay, that's fine. So we don't want to make a block, we actually want to make an item. I'm gonna skip blocks, skip all of these entities. I'm gonna go to items. Along with blocks, items are key components of most mods, while blocks make up the world around you. Items what you let you change it. Items need no special functionality, think sticks or sugar. Don't need custom classes. You can create an item by instantiating an item with item properties. Item properties can be made calling the constructor, and you can customize by calling its method. For instance, group max damage, max stats. Okay. Set the properties of an item as above only works with simple items. If you want more complicated, you should subclass item and override its methods. Items must be registered to a function. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm gonna create a folder under here called item. Well, yeah, item. And underneath that, I'm gonna put a folder. I might have multiple items called coin. And let's make a new class. And I'm gonna put here item coin. Okay. And I'm going to move this code over over here into my actual item class, my coin class. And what does it want me to do? So I don't want a block, I want an item. That's the same thing. It's under block. So where's item go under? Yeah, that looks about right. All that items. And my mod ID exists in my first mod. That's a static variable. Oops. Okay. And it's got an issue because it's not an item. Let's change it back to items. Cool. So that's my register for all my items. I probably actually don't want this in this class. I might actually want to do like an item setup, something to that extent. But before it gets complicated, let's just put it in the main class. That's fine. Now to get to this over here is going to be my coin, and that items comes from my first mod, and it has private access. Let's change that to public. Cool. And I think this over here is me registering this item's deferred registry. Right, so that's registering that item says. Those two match up, I think. So what is this actually doing? So I don't want a new block. So this is trying to register. Let's go into the method. It's registering the new entry's name. It'll automatically have the mod ID prefix. It's also then creating a factory for the new entry. Should return a new instance every time it is called. Okay, so when it's registering, it creates this over here, which is we actually want a item. We want an item. So I'm gonna call this get coin item. Okay, I'm gonna create a method, and let's change this. Just define this again. Cool. So it's expecting a coin item. What is its issue? Okay, let's go back. How was it doing it before? Comment it out. Should we just follow this pattern? Item the properties that create. That doesn't work. I assume that's the name of my item, and that must match up with this magic coin over here. I'm gonna call that coin. It's not happy with this approach. Let's see what they say. Exists only custom classes. You can create an item by instantiating an item class with item properties object. Can be made calling the constructor, and you can customize by calling methods. For instance, XYZ. The above methods are chainable. You need to return this to facilitate calling series. Okay, so I don't want create then. I don't think that's a method for it. I get rid of that. I think properties is kind of fine. but it's expecting something on here. Okay. Right, new item properties. Okay, and there we go. I can add some basic stuff to it. I don't think I want to change too much of how you can mess around with it. So let's just add it as is, a basic property. What else is complaining? It's expecting a block. Why is it expecting a block? Ah, because I defined it as block. Silly. Cool, so that looks like it's fine. So that's adding. It's never used. Does it need to be used? I'm registering my coin, my new item, onto this items list, and then I'm actually registering it. Is that all I need to do? Right? Registering an item. It just says, if I look at this guy, yeah, that looks like it was it. This doesn't actually get used. Public static final. Okay. So I technically didn't necessarily need classes, but okay. Is that all items? Loot modification. What is this? A data-driven method of handling modification of harvested jobs without the need to override dozens or hundreds of vanilla loot tables to handle effects that require interactions. Use add the register names or your loot modifiers. Silk touch. You need to add here are the registry names of your loot modifiers. Replace causes the cache of modifiers. We cleared entries in order list of modifiers will be loaded. Any modifier that's not listed will not be loaded. This doesn't make so much sense to me. I'm going to leave this one out for now until I understand this. Models. So we've specified the name of our item, we've registered, but how do we actually get a texture to back it? Intro to models. System is giving blocks and items their shapes. A map to their models just to find how they look. One of the main models, and we to link model to. Okay. The namespace of this classification model system represents directly underneath assets. Okay. I think I understand what it's saying. This is the convention again. Assets, mod ID, models, and then or textures. Okay, so let me create those now. for the lang folder, I actually just show this to me in the files. So in, oops, did it actually create it as that? Let's change that. Assets. Okay, that goes inside there. And over here I need a lang. I can spell properly. Lang. I need models. I need textures. Then move this back inside lang. Double check that I write textures. Models. Perfect. What is block states? To map variance strings. The models of variance string can be anything from entity to power. I'm your father. Lol. Fix the block state for the position. Use the state mapper. Oh, that's the that's vanilla oak log to JSON. Here we define 4 variance strings. Oh, okay. So this is if we have a different like orientation. Different orientation of the object. What does it look like? 4 strings for each we use a certain model. Either upright log, sideways log, This model is not seen normally in vanilla, you have to use set block to create it. Since logs use the default is for all possible variance strings, we have many properties. Okay, but what happens if I wanna have the same format? You can define a definition. The default format is really more like syntactic sugar for the automatic calculating set of all possible variants for you behind the scenes. For instance, here's an excerpt for fences. Okay. So just one variant of 16. Even worse, there's 6 models of fences. Okay, so do I need this? Default uses the block JSON names location the block states JSON, e.g. block example mod test block goes to. Okay, I'm going to come back to this. Textures. Model support specifying tint, faces. There's colors. I mean, I don't really want to tint it. I just want to give it like an image. Ooh, what's this? If the properties to exposed. Adding properties, you can add properties. Okay. Model item node.json. Textures, comment, default, layer, example mod items, example partial. Okay. From supporting code. That is interesting. How do I get like a texture? There we go, I missed it. Model files. Okay. Path is relative to models. So when the resource location refers to model, path is relative to models, e.g. example mod block slash block is models block block. So in the block state, all three formats of model paths relative to the... Okay, cool. So we're gonna need an item. Blocking items differ in a few ways, the major one being item property overrides. Textures like models are contained within resource packs and refer to resource locations and are relative to textures. Okay, there's an image. Base to 0 to 16. Texture must also be a square. The side length of texture should be a power of 2, doing otherwise breaks many mapping, e.g. Okay, if there's an MC meta file associated with a texture and an animation is defined, the image must be rectangular, interpreted as a vertical sequence. Vanilla JSON model format is rather simple, defines cuboid, etc. etc. JSON model supports blah blah blah. Okay, so it does seem that I'm gonna need under models I'm gonna need item, and over here I'm gonna need item, I think. Let's go to this wiki for the format. I don't want these other formats. I'm just gonna take a JSON model format. That should be like the basic thing. I don't want block models, I want item models. That's fine, give me item models. As items do not have different variants, there's no need to specify them. Contain all the model files. The name of the files are hard-coded and should not be changed. The root tag parent loads a different model for the given path. Can be set to item generated. Use a model that is created out of the specified icon. Okay, so we're going to specify that. Position, textures. Can I get an example? Ooh. Okay, so there's an example. This example replaces the bed item render with the textures currently found in Bedrock. Okay, assets with folder name model with the name redbed.json. That texture in the textures tag lazy set. Okay, is found in textures item folder. The red can be changed out for all other colors of bed, but each must be put in a separate JSON file. Cool, I think I get it. Example torch as an item, parent, layer. Why is it saying a block torch? Okay, let's do this. This goes under item and models. So I'm gonna have a file called coin.json, and that over there is gonna be called coin, and that's a texture. So under the textures, I'm gonna need a coin.png, I think. What's layer 0? Coin, layer 0. Yes, look at that. Specify the icon using this removal on layer for spawn eggs. must be a PNG. And that's what this thing says now, right? For the textures. It's in the same folder, it's a PNG. Okay, cool. So we're gonna search for a coin image. Do I want to be using a coin like this? Can I get a cartoon coin? Ooh. I like this one. I need a square. Can I set the dimensions? Can I? I'm not sure if I can. I mean, that's a cool looking coin, right? That is square. No, it is not. I want like a perfect square. How do I search settings? No. Can I go to 56? Aha, cool. Let's save this image and I'm gonna put it on the project. This idea, Minecraft, my first mod. I'm gonna put it on the source, main, resources, assets, my first mod, textures, item. Yeah, and I'm gonna call this coin. I'm supposed as a JPEG. I'm hoping that that works as well. Cool. What else do I need? I might need a PNG. Okay, let's see what happens. So let's double check this. So I've got my item coin. Let's go back. I don't need all these other things. That's just registering a coin. I'm not actually calling this class anyway. That's the other problem. So let's actually just move this back into the main view. Okay, let's get rid of that for now. I don't want that. This is my first mod, and because it's in the same class, because it's static, it's gonna get called when the class loads up. That should all be what I want. Let's run this to a pull and let's run this client. I'm hoping that all this works so far. Okay, it's running. Crossing fingers at this point. Conventions. There's quite a bit of documentation of you. Documentation is quite like informative. It is a little bit of a challenge to read. Okay, so the game started up. Let's create a new world. I'm gonna make it creative. I mean, this is cool that has a whole version of Minecraft there. Spawn my world. Spawn my world. I'm gonna be so happy if it works like right off the bat. Okay. Let's see. So that was a coin, right? Nope, that didn't come up. Wait. Did I enable my mod? Didn't work. Oh. No, that didn't work. Okay. I wonder what it could have been. Is there any bugs? Tell me anything. I searcher. What I'm trying to do is, there's a lot going on here. I just want to check. There we go. Using this, unable to load textures, coined a PNG. Okay, so it specifically needs to be in a PNG format. Interesting. Let's change that to be. Can I do this? Nope. Let's undo that. So I specifically need a PNG. That's interesting. Can I save it as a PNG? Nope. PNG. Cool, so I converted that into a PNG. Let's delete that. And let's try this again. Okay, what I'm gonna do is building. It's like a lot of logs. I need to check how I can get it like to an actual log file, because that would be much easier to go through. That's gonna suck that this takes so long to actually load up. But the tool itself, the tooling itself is quite amazing. I'm quite impressed. Okay, so let's see now. Still not. Nothing at the bottom here. Okay. What is it saying now is the issue? Okay. Need to copy all of that so many times. Okay, so it is there. My first smart coin. Huh. It's saying it is there. What's the deal? Coin. Item coin. That should be a square. What have I missed? It was coin.json. Yes. It should all be fine. Coin, new item properties. And what else did they have in the block models? And also was fancy. Let me start a new world. Sample mod resources. Okay. I'm not sure what else is an issue here. Do I have to give it like properties? Meta. Can't see what I'm missing. Magic coin? I mean, I just call this coin? Unless that's all the ID and these example items. Let's see an example. We don't have anything. Okay, cool. These items. Can you just name it what they have the mod ID prefixed? I mean, does this have to be this? What groups are there? Oh, okay. Let me go to the items. It's like mandatory. Okay, let's see. Can we put in this? Might be why we're not seeing it. Can I put it under Musk? Let's pull that and let's see. Crossing fingers, come on. No. Oh, okay, cool. So nothing for location. So this definitely is coin. That has to match to that other ID. And then this would have been fine as magic coin. Okay, come on. Give us our coin. Aha! We have a coin, a magic coin, miscellaneous. And we can put it into our inventory. But something's... oh, something's up with... something's up with the actual image. I was trying to like find out what was the issue. The mod was basically was showing up in my search menu. I can kind of go to it, but you can see that it's not actually rendering the actual item. right? And I started going through the log file to find out, you know, what was the actual issue. And what I noticed in the actual logs was, let's read it again. It says they're using missing texture, unable to load Minecraft textures. So I think it's looking for coin PNG from the source, from vanilla Minecraft code. So what I'm gonna do is, in this layer 0, I'm gonna try specifying the mod ID of what I'm actually defining, first mod. And that should kind of follow the pattern of I think it was this one of the, where did I see it now again? I basically found a place where we were talking about resources and how your namespace, you have to define the namespace first and then the colon in order for it to pick it up. I think Minecraft is the default namespace, so that's probably why that issue was occurring. I'm hoping that that solves it. So let's try this again. Oops, I need to kill this thing. Okay. Cool, game's up. Crossing my fingers now. I'm hoping that was the issue. Yeah, awesome. So you can see our actual mod, my actual icon is showing. The icon itself isn't great. Let's actually go to it again. Cool, so we can actually see our icon showing. That is awesome. We'd obviously need to just figure out how to change that that image to actually not show the alpha, to not show this you know, ugly little background. Let me see if I can actually do that quickly. I'm gonna see if I can remove background, remove alpha. Move alpha from PNG. Let's see, online tool to remove alpha. Okay, cool. Let's try that. That's not what I want. Can I maybe get a coin PNG? Can I get more solid looking coin? Maybe this gun. Cool, let's do this one. Save image as. Go back to. That's a JPEG. I have to convert that again to a PNG. That's fine. So I'll call this new coin. And let's go JPEG to PNG. Convert that. That's my new coin. Downloading it. Okay. Downloads. And I'm gonna put it over here. Get rid of the coin. I'm gonna rename this guy to old coin. And this over here is my new coin, but I first need to change the alpha. Let's go import from file. Let's go new coin. It still isn't what I'd want. Is there a different tool? Yeah, online tool that does this. Okay. Okay, not sure what this is doing. Mirror that. Okay. And can we... Ooh. That's not what I want. Checkboard is under your image. That's not what I want. Can I not just remove background from image? Original, that's what I want. Awesome, please. Let this work. Okay. And I also need to make it, I also need to resize this image. Resize PNG. So you have to make it a power of 2. So like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, that kind of thing. So if I do this as 256, I might need to remove the background again. Yeah. Restart this process. Upload image. Downloads. Modify date. Try that now again. Okay. Cool. Wait, which one is it? I think it is that one, yeah. Okay. Let's cut that. Bring that in over here. I'm gonna change this now to coin. Coin is the actual name that I want. So open this up. It looks like it is actually transparent. The old coin was kind of fake transparent. Okay, so let's see if that works. Oh, is these showing up in IntelliJ? That's the one that I should be using. Let's check. This will be awesome. Yeah, if this works, we do actually need a better tool to create it for us. Maybe I should do like a separate guide to that. Come on. Okay. Awesome, look at our coin. Look at our coin. That's a beautiful looking coin. That is a beautiful looking coin. Woohoo! So yeah, able to actually figure out without looking at any real guides, anything like that, other than the documentation, we're able to figure out how to actually create a custom icon. Obviously the item doesn't do anything at this point, it's just like a, actual icon. I think the next thing I'll look at in the next video is to how we actually can, maybe apply some attributes. Maybe we can use this in a recipe that we can work on the workbench to build another item. But yeah, cool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning way through. What I am gonna do is I'll upload like a condensed version of this video just as like a quick short tutorial. But yeah, thank you for joining me along with this journey.